We are live, Mike.
Dude, are you ready for tonight? This is episode 50, 50,
50?
50 of the Drag Drive Repeat Show presented by Summit Racing. Y'all, I don't know. I'm not gonna say excited all night tonight, but I am pretty
Liar.
pumped. I am pretty pumped about this one. We've got two guests on. One of those guests is going to kind of I don't want to say become kind of a new co-host of part of the show, but dude, we're going to get some knowledge dropped on us. Let's start back over here. So we have two awesome guests, right? Chris Wozniak will be on talking about his experience at Sick Week, but also talking about his like carb cover workbench deal. So that'll be kind of fun. Then the naturally aspirated guy that we're going to talk to is just Mr. Jonathan Stonecipher, who I have known for a long, long, long time, but everybody is going to get to know him a little bit better now because we're going to start a monthly segment that's going to talk about naturally aspirated combos and why people choose those. And I really think it's going to be a great opportunity for us to learn. So, we had the new announcement with the transmission, Performa built transmissions on Saturday. They're a new sponsor. We have Jonathan Stonecipher explaining naturally aspirated stuff now. Dude, a lot of technical stuff going to happen this year. And we're just going to kind of like keep people learning all year long. So
Yeah. We
it's going to be a
gotta
lot of fun.
we gotta add them to the banner down below.
Oh, dang it. Sorry, I did not do that to Performa built transmissions. We'll get that done before Saturday morning for sure. And before we jump into some event or after we jump into some event update news, we're going to talk about Rodney's rods. Asked a question last week about some things like that. Well, about some index and like ET limited classes and all that stuff. We're going to talk about some of those. Well, guys, my name is Mike Narks. I am the host of the Drag Drive Repeat Show and the Drag Drive Repeat News. I am a drag and drive statistician, promoter, and announcer as of last year. But then Heads Up Hustle, I'll be there this year as the full time announcer for that. So not just color commentary anymore, dude. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm pumped about that one.
Yeah, that's
Introduce
awesome.
yourself. Tell them who you are, dude.
I am Eric White. I am the co-host for both the news and the show. Yes, it is Tuesday night. Normally we are Wednesday night.
Yeah,
Um, when I'm not helping out here, I run my own channel, which is 815 LSX Swaps, which is coming up on 3,300 subscribers. So that's
that's
super
awesome.
cool. And a lot of the stuff that I do is help with graphic design type stuff, artwork, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, dude, you are a busy guy, and I appreciate that for sure. We don't have much of your artwork tonight. Most of the artwork that's coming tonight is stuff I've done, so I apologize ahead of time, guys. But hey, listen, when you move it up a day, dude, it gets a little wild, man. We were
Yes.
trying to figure out how to get all that done, and because tomorrow night's Valentine's Day, so you can't we couldn't have been live. Now my wife would have been understanding, your wife would have been understanding, but we want to have everybody have the opportunity. So all right,
Yep.
here we go. Guys, we want to say thank you for being our race car friend. We want to say thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the shares that you give us, guys. That means the world to us. I want to say thanks to our sponsors to Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Howard's Cams, Performa Built Transmissions, Car Change 3D, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk Classifieds. Y'all, we can't do it without all of you guys. It's this huge group of people that just help keep us motivated and moving forward and doing all the stuff that we do, which is a lot, actually. It's a
That's
lot.
right.
All right, well, let's move on here, guys. Let's thank Summit Racing right out of the gate here. Summit Racing Speed Legacy began in 1968 as a one-man startup and is now the world's speed shop. With 4 facilities and 200 plus catalog editions, fueling your passion, they save you money, deliver fast, and offer top notch customer service. In 2014, they launched the Summit Racing mobile app. That's 10 years ago, if you were adding that up, for easy access to speed parts. Find them on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Also, you can tune in to the On All Cylinders podcast for more automotive discussions. From humble origins to the social media lane, Summit Racing stands by your need for speed. All right, let's talk about events. Southeast Street and Yeet registration opens very soon. But
Yes.
other day, I'm pumped about this event. This is obviously the last one of the year. This is the one that kicks off. This is the last chance for people to get world champion points. I mean, it really truly has a stack of reasons to attend, and registration is opening soon, like I said. But we do have the track announcements now. Day one is November 7th at Shadyside Dragway. Guys, Shadyside was really cool. And they're going through a bunch of renovations. They're actually redoing all of their stands. The new setup looks like it's going to be really, really cool. Day two is going to be South Carolina Motorplex, one of the, I'm telling you, best eighth mile tracks anybody has ever been to ever, but definitely during the drag and drive stuff. Carolina Dragway is day two. That's right, 2 days or two tracks in one single day.
Yep.
Okay,
So that's
so
the evening
yeah,
race.
yep. So in the morning, we're going to race at South Carolina Motorplex. In the evening, we're going to race at Carolina Dragway. And then we're going to Mooresville Dragway, owned by, Eric Yost, another longtime drag and drive racer. But they're racing in the evening again there. So here's what I'm telling you, the times that we see throughout the year, they're going to be knocked off by this event. It's going to be nuts. Shadyside Dragway is where we're going to wrap it back out, obviously, on November 10th. And again, registration opens soon. You can find Southeast Street in Yeet or Street in Yeet on Facebook anywhere you look, or find Devin Vanderhoof. He's posting about it all the time as well. So it's going to be kind of cool. That one, again, one of my favorite events of the year. And it's really laid back, and I like evening racing, but I've said this 100 times, I love the two tracks in one day.
Yeah.
It's truly one of the hardest things that are out there. So, all right, Rocky Mountain Race Week opens registration on February 16th, which, if you're watching this now, is in 3 days.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, it is.
yeah, that's on Saturday. So that's for veteran registration. Then on the 17th, public registration for however many spots are left is going to open. I think that's probably 9 a.m. Mountain Time. I'll look that up and have that on Saturday morning, but I'm pretty sure it's 9 a.m. Mountain Time to kick that off. So pretty exciting stuff there. That's an event that I will be attending because it is right here in my backyard. It is more of the Ozark Mountain Race Week this year, since we're doing Tulsa, Ennis, Texas, Oklahoma City, and Mocan Dragway. The second time Mocan Dragway is going to be visited in 2024. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for our buddies at Mocan.
Yep.
They uh they really drew a great hand this year with the circuit being there. Obviously, we're going to bring them some fun there, and then they're doing Rocky Mountain Race Week, and they are a stop for the 666 event that happens in October. So
Yep. Which somebody just commented on here. GBS Garage was saying that he was looking at the Route 66 event, one way Missouri to New Mexico, and kind of wondered what everybody thought about that.
uh, I think it's going to be really cool. I think it's going to really it adds so many days to to the trip that I think a lot of folks they may not be able to make it work for them that way, but I'm telling you, I think it's going to be worth it, especially for us, because media stuff, we don't care. We're just going to bomb back home at 85 miles an hour. So
Yeah.
I see John Gilman here asking, does Southeast Street and Ute sell out fast? Typically, it has not. It's taken them a few days in the past, but I will tell you, this will be their third or fourth event to do this, and they did not have a spring event. So there should be plenty of anticipation when this registration opens. One thing I will say, and we're going through it with the circuit right now too. I know we're kind of all over the place talking about this stuff, but the circuit, we have had some people fall out. We have almost filled their spots, so I'm working down through the wait list. So if you do not get in, this is a great thing to even talk about with Rocky Mountain Race Week. If you do not get in, you have to get on the wait list early. You
Yes.
have to continue to work on your car as it is, like, as you're going to race, because I don't know of anybody that has turned folks away on the day of. Now,
Yeah.
if you're going to show up and they are at capacity, if they're at max, they may have to, but I don't know. From what we've seen, historically 15, 18 years now, there hasn't been an event turn anyone away on the day of that we know of. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know. But here's the thing. As these events become harder and harder to get into because more and more people are finding out about drag and drive, that means you have to jump on the wait list. You have to be early. So have your stuff filled out before, have your autofill filled out, and then drop it in there and go and get it ready and get going. So
Somebody mentioned here that the 16th is Friday. So the early registration is
oh,
Friday. The 17th is Saturday.
gotcha. All right. My days are way off here. Well, we're ahead a day. We're I'm used to
Eh,
doing this on Wednesday nights. That's what I'm gonna
yeah,
blame it on.
there you go.
Yep. Sport About Danny here says that he got into sick week this year off of the wait list. He said he missed the registration by 2 minutes, and that's one of the biggest things.
Entries are open via email invite for limited spots. Central Victorian Dragon Drive in April.
Yep. April 18th through 21st. Again, that's three Dragon Drive events that are going to be happening that weekend.
Yeah,
The April 18th through 21st should be pretty amazing. And again, seven Dragon Drive events in Australia this year.
that's awesome.
Crazy. Yes. Yes, it's so awesome for them. It's huge. What's even cooler is they are all in, I'm not going to say one part of the country, but they kind of are. They're kind of in what we would call the southeast part of the country. So that should be really good for the community there and should really help grow it a lot more because if you have, at that point, if you had 200 cars, that's 1,500 race cars that are cruising around that area every few months. I mean, if you did one every other month, that's going to get some attention from not just the tracks and not just the people that go to those tracks, but everybody that's in the area. They're gonna be like, why are all these cars always cruising around here? So that's
Yeah.
exciting. All right. And then the last little bit here on registration. Registration for Street Week Sweden opens on February 23rd. So for you guys that are in Sweden, definitely jump in there. And then I haven't heard from Carl Stansel and the team at Drop the Hammer yet how their registration is going. I know they opened on February 10th, but I don't know. I can't remember their car count limit. So I don't know if they're quite there yet or not, but if you'd like to do some racing in Michigan, you can do that. And then February 23rd opens, I think it's Drag Week and Heads Up Hustle as well. So I'll have to
Wow.
do some searching on that. Now I'll post up all that stuff later tonight. Again, moving this forward, dude, it's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it
hard.
was.
Yeah. I see somebody here asking about Midwest Drags. Yeah, Midwest Drags is in Kentucky this year, Clay City, Kentucky, July 8th through 12th. I know they're doing Edgewater, um, I think Beach Bend, and whatever track name is in Clay City. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. So should be pretty good event there. And again, 2 passes per day. I think that's kind of cool. And then Andrew Nelson here says, "Oh man, oh man." Mm. I wasn't going to go to Six Summer, but here's the problem.
It's 2
Now
weeks in a row now.
now the Nelsons are going, and that makes me want to go even more because Ryan with Performer Built is gonna probably be riding around with Howie Price and that whole family. So I may have to come up for a couple days of Six Summer. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I really, was trying to kind of limit some travel early because I know I'm going to be doing a lot of travel later on. So it's going to be an interesting summer to say the least. But Eric will definitely be at Six Summer 100%, at least for a few days of it, depending on his work schedule and how bad they need him. He's kind of an important deal at work. So it's going to, oh man, Fast Act Racing is going to be at Six Summer too. Crap. Crap, crap, crap. Sounds like I may have to do that. I may have to do that. We got
Are you gonna be
Aaron
at
Fowler.
Yep, are you gonna be at Coder?
Yep, that is my plan is to at least be there Saturday and Sunday. I may leave here Friday afternoon and then head that way to be over there. That is the weekend of April 26th through 28th. So that gives a little bit of time there. Like I'll be doing the circuit the weekend before and then Coder the next weekend. So yeah, Coder's one of my favorite events too. I love their format. I just can't be there all day Friday if I'm going to be gone several days of the week before for that one.
Yep. That's
Yep.
the struggle from from our perspective is when these events end up being back to back, 3 events in a row, it's hard for us to get to all of those events and get the coverage, which sucks because we want to be at every event we can.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly. We need an airplane like Cletus.
Yeah.
So You see the Facebook user here? That means these folks are in the Drag Drive Repeat Race Car Friends Facebook group. If you scroll down to the bottom of the description on the video, if you're in that group watching this, you can click on the button there and it'll allow your name to come up here. So sadly, we don't know who is coming to Six Summer to run out of Bryant Goldstone's life, but I'm telling you, I would love to know who that is because he's got that car dialed in. So
I feel like this is a Devin comment.
maybe. That's for sure. And then Aaron Fowler, that'll be great to see you at the circuit as a co-pilot. That'll feel kind of strange probably on his end. He's used to racing.
Nailed it.
Michelob Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Bring it on, man. Well, that'll be fun to see you and him go head to head at that. So that'll be cool. All right, and then Central Georgia Battle of the Streets one day drag and drive. I met Mike Mayo here. This is, I would say, him probably commenting March 16th and 17th, 2024, Warner Robins track, and it's really kind of a cool deal. It's like a longer True Street event, so you
Yep.
have a little more opportunity to do that, and it's his first one to host. So we're excited to have another new promoter within the drag and drive community, but he's hosted a lot of events in the past. So yeah, perfect. All right, and then I wish I could have done more this year. Yeah, dude. Well, you live in trips. That's okay. That's okay. Just got the third one planned, dude. Bring it on. That's exciting. Todd Bagley, love that guy. Hope I know I'll see him at 1.0 for sure. We'll see what about 2.0 and all that kind of stuff. All right, let's move on. We've talked a lot about events there. Let me see what we got coming up here next. Oh, yeah, one of the biggest announcements in all of Drag Drive Repeat history. We are obviously partnered up with PowerTube TV, guys. This is a big move for us. They're the ultimate destination for car entertainment. Watch some of your favorite shows like Pink's Pastime. You guys remember that one? Pink's All Out and Drag Race High. And they're adding new shows like Dream Garage, your boys right here, Drag Drive Repeat, Married to the Ride, and a bunch more. He sent me a list today. I think there's like 12 new shows on that, I guess. New I don't know, whatever you would call us on that channel as well. And you can
Shows and podcasts.
yeah. You can download it for free. It's literally car stuff 24/7 365. It's really pretty cool. You can get on Roku, Fire TV, iOS and Android, YouTube and Rumble, and they're working on Apple TV and Android TV right now. So should have that out pretty soon. But you can
There,
just go to like watchpowertubetv.com.
yep. There's Ray. He said series.
Series. Hey, listen, we're gonna figure this out. We're not big fancy people like all the some of the other folks over on PowerTube TV. But I don't know if you guys watch or listen to the WFO radio show with Joe Costello, but I do. I'm not a huge NHRA guy, but I like Joe a whole lot. And his podcast is going to be on PowerTube TV as well, beginning February 15th. So that's kind of exciting if you didn't know that. That just gives me another opportunity, another reason to be watching PowerTube TV. And then they're working on editing down all of the back catalog for ADRL, the NHRDA, and all of the duck races. So this should
It's a lot of
be
content.
dude, lights out, radio versus the world. This should be pretty crazy and a ton more. I mean, heck, you can see here on the screen, we're even offering them exclusive content. And I'll tell you, the Jeff Lutz video is actually going to post on PowerTube TV first, and then we'll come over as a secondary edited on the Drag Drive Repeat show. So
That's
that
cool.
the Drag Drive Repeat channel. So we're gonna have all of the passes that I got from Jeff's return to Drag and Drive with Sick Week 2024. So that's pretty cool. And then some of the other stuff they've got coming, they've got Red, White, and Burnout, which I like that. Jeep Life, U.S. Touring Car Championship, and School of Fab, and then a documentary called Do Something Extraordinary, which is like some kid that races like off-road cars. I don't know. We don't watch off-road cars, but that kid races it. And it's a pretty cool documentary. So, last thing about PowerTube TV, they're shooting new pastime episodes beginning in September.
That's
Now,
cool.
everybody that is here that is within my age bracket, 40s, remembers pastime and remembers watching it front to back to try and figure out what you got. you can actually be a part of it. They're going to start talking about the tracks they're going to be at and how you can get involved. And there's a huge new host that you guys are going to love. This is going to be really, really cool. But we're going to kind of be that inlet for you. We're going to be able to give you those updates and tell you about all that kind of stuff, maybe even before you even see it on PowerTube TV. So I'm really excited about this partnership. This is a really good way for us to just continue to preach the drag and drive out there and get it to a lot more people than we would have on our own. So pretty cool.
Yeah, and I've got a Roku hooked up to my TV, so
Yep.
definitely got Power Tube TV on that. So, it's you get home from work and you want to kick it back on the couch a little bit and unwind and turn on some
Yep.
Power Tube TV, and there's all kinds of content on there. So, and it's only going to get better with all these new shows and
Yep.
new series that are going to be coming.
That's right. And right now they're doing some big deal with Dennis Anderson, the dude that drives Gravedigger.
Yeah.
The big deal with him. So it's some big, huge giveaway. So watch PowerTubeTV.com to find out all the stuff about all of that. So yeah, pretty exciting. All right, let's move on to our next topic here. I see Chris is backstage, so we're going to cover some of these things, and then we're gonna bring him in. So last week, and you can kind of see it there at the bottom of the screen. Rodney's rods, uh, Rodney's rods asked about 850 and 10.0 are natural class limitations. What's weird is everyone has an 850 class, but few have 10.0 classes and thoughts. So I went back and we talked about it a little bit on the news when he said that, but I went back and kind of gathered a list, and pretty much everybody has an index class of some kind now that would allow like a 10.0 deal, right? So
Hmm.
Rocky Mountain Raceway even goes one step further and does 9.0, 10.0, 11.0, 12.0, 13.0, and 14.0 index classes. And I'm telling you, you better be on your money for Rocky Mountain Race Week or Race Week because those folks do not play at all. I mean, like, you know, O twos, O threes are what's going to win that class. Averages O twos or O threes.
Right.
Midwest Drags opened up to like a street machine eliminator or street machine classes index with 10, 11, and 12.0. That's pretty awesome. See, my mom's in here. Good evening, Mama. I love you. Hot Rod Drag Week has the SME, which is Street Machine Eliminator, and that's a 10.0 limited. But then they do something that's really kind of cool. They take the top 32 cars and they have a race off. So kind of a neat deal there. I like that format. And then Sick Week and Sick Summer, they do DYO, which is 10.0 and up. And that's about the difference in your spread. So then you could really have like a 12-second car win that class because your spread, your difference is not very much. Like Gabby Luan this week or at Sick Week won with a 021 average across 5 days of racing from her quickest submitted pass to her slowest submitted pass. Pretty crazy. And then Pro DYO is 850 to 999. So
Aaron here is saying 1107 average, and he was like seventh or eighth a few years ago in 11.0 at Rocky Mountain Race Week.
yeah, pretty
11.07.
yeah. Yeah, 1 year, oh gosh, 1 year a guy won with like an average, like
Yeah.
12,005 or something crazy.
Well,
I
we
think
saw
it's
that at Midwest Drags too, right?
yeah. Well, yes, yeah, 009 I think won it with Zach Stevens, right?
Yep. That's what I was
Yep.
thinking.
Yep. Pretty crazy. So the biggest thing is each event has its own deal. They have their own way to do their stuff. I have a full list of events on the website right now. We're up to 32 events for 2024 so far, and I know we're going to add some. We have 33 because I don't have Mike Mayo's on there yet. So we're going to add that here in just a little bit as well. So 33 events already on the books, and we've only done one event so far. So
Right.
April is the month. March and April are the months for regional events. We have tons of events through those months and tons of weekend style events, and I think that is really good to get folks ready for their updates that are going to come. You know if you're getting ready for six summer, you better knock out one of the regional events as you go through, right? All right, let's look here. Oh, next thing up. So I hope that answers Rod's question from the other night, is that there are a ton of 10.0 classes or a lot of index style classes. It's just they don't get a ton of the hype. And I hope we can bring some of that to some of the events here because those classes they may not be running all out because they're trying to hit a number. That
Yeah.
may be the biggest thing. So you got to keep that in the back of your mind. And index stuff is really, really hard, especially when you're talking about 5 days of racing at 4 different tracks.
Yep. I see
All
my
right.
dad in here too.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey, Pops.
Yeah. Um, Again, guys, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it, guys. Hit the share button for us if you don't mind, please, real quick. We're going to have Chris on here in just a minute, and then a little bit later, we're going to have Jonathan Stonecipher on. So this should be a great night, a lot of fun for all these folks. But guys, we can't do it without you. Our race car friends are what makes this whole thing possible, and our sponsors: Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Howard's Cams, Performa Built Transmissions. Uh, Car Change 3D, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. Man, the list is getting long, dude. I love it.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
100%. We appreciate every one of those sponsors.
Yep. All right, let's talk about Molly Motorsports, dude. Can you read the Molly ad for us while I pull up some of this stuff and give my voice a break for a second?
No problem. We want to thank Molly for being one of our sponsors. Molly Motorsports, attention to high performance enthusiasts and sportsman class racers. Meet the Molly Motorsports Power Pack Kit, your ultimate solution for power packed performance. Crafted with precision from top quality alloys, our pistons offer tighter clearances and increased resistance. Tailored for various engine families from small block Chevy to Volkswagen, Audi, we've got you covered. What sets us apart? Forged pistons, graphite coating, and phosphate treatment for peak performance and durability. Elevate your ride with Molly Motorsports, where performance meets precision. Unleash the power within. Visit mollymotorsports.com for more details. Molly is spelled Mahle.
Yep. I think you got to say that because, like, I don't know if Molly Motorsports is taken, but they should probably buy that one too.
Yep. Oh, we got mom and pops in the house. Hey, ma.
Nice. Are they in different rooms or are they in the same room?
They're probably in the same room.
Nice. All right. Well, one little product here I want to show before Chris comes on is this this deal from Car Chains. Now we know he does a lot of 3D printing stuff, but guys, this is billet aluminum cup holders right here.
That's cool.
Attaches to your shifter. I know you had talked about taking your shifter and sending it to him.
Yep, I plan on
Um,
doing that still.
yeah, I think you're going to need to do that and put this in there so when we take your car on a drag and drive event, it's got cup holders. We're going to need those.
Yep, absolutely. That was my plan, is to pull out my TCI shifter. I'm going to send that off
Yep.
to him and let him use that to create some cup holders. And then once that gets created, we'll do a little video or some pictures or something
Yep.
showing what that looks like.
Yep. Now let me ask you this: does this make it a drag and drive car? Like this has to make it a drag and drive car. You wouldn't have a drag car only with cup
Right,
holders.
right, because you're not gonna be sipping your Mountain Dew when you're on your 9 second pass.
That's
So
right. That's right. But
definitely for the
you'll
road.
do it while you're driving 300 miles on the road. So
Absolutely.
if you guys haven't done it yet, carchange3d.com, you can find all kinds of stuff. He's got a bunch of different like printed ones and all that kind of stuff. But I saw this today and I was like, ooh, that's so pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep. All right. Well, I see Chris running around here real quick. We'll give him just a second if he wants to give us a thumbs up. Now, let me give you guys some backstory. So I met Chris because I was walking through the pits with the camera, saw this crazy contraption on top of his car, or no, sorry. I saw this really cool Firebird and got this shot of it, and like he was warming it up, but it was that morning at South Georgia where the sun was like absolutely perfect. And so I took a quick reel type video. He had the exhaust was dumping to the bottom of the hood. Like he had the hood leaned up against the car, and it just, I don't know, the way it sounded and the way the steam was kind of puffing out, it really drew me in, right? So I grabbed that. As I stand up, Matt Blasco's there, who is Chris's co pilot for the event. So we're going to get to tell some fun stories about that. But then Matt goes, "Hey, show him what you've got." And dude, it's really, really cool. So let's bring Chris on, and then we're going to walk through some of that stuff. We're going to talk about his sick week adventures. We're going to talk about how he ended up with Matt Blasco as a co-pilot, and then kind of like how things have changed in the last 9 days since
Yeah.
being home. So, Mr. Chris Wozniak, how are you, sir? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you got it perfect. I appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. I'm sure you've probably never had that misspelled at all.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Well, dude, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and about the car behind you.
Yeah, my name's Chris Wozniak. I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee. Engineer is my background. Own a little engineering firm here in Nashville. Spun off a little car part business. Gotten into drag and drive events as a co-pilot with a buddy last year at Sick Week. And coming back from Sick Week is when we had the brainstorming session because I had so much fun as co-pilot to work on a couple products and kind of bought the domain for the website on the way home. And just been kind of getting ready for this, trying to get into this sport a little bit with not the Firebird, and the car that I want to bring always gives me problems. So this Firebird behind me is a crusty old thing that's kind of got a cool family story that's ended up now completing drag week and Sick Week.
Nice.
That's cool.
Well, yeah. Tell us about the history on that thing, man.
So it was my uncle's car. It's from upstate New York. That's where I'm originally from, Syracuse area. As a kid, I always wanted it. Sat most of my childhood life. Hi, Mom. And you know, as you grow and your tastes change and stuff, I kind of become a Mopar guy. I like my GM stuff, but I like my classic Mopars. And I have a CUDA that I've been working on, did power tour with a couple years, and the motor had a problem. And my uncle called me and said, "Hey, you know, if you still want that Firebird, which I haven't thought about in years, come home and get it." His boys aren't interested, and my uncle's not in a spot to fix it up. So I brought it home in fall of 22, put floor pans in it. It's been sitting since the mid-90s. It's just a Chevy 327 he built in the late 80s, Muncie 4-speed. And my goal was to get it ready for power tour. So went through it mechanically, put the floor pans in it, and did power tour in June of 23. And then the motor in my CUDA ate a lifter, getting ready for drag week 23. So I said, well, I guess this thing's going to drag week. It'd never been down a racetrack. We completed, but it ran 14 sixes all week at drag week, but it was fun. It was a good learning experience. Fast forward to Sick Week, the motor in the CUDA is still not ready. It's going on the dyno in a couple weeks. So we did some Cal tracks and a better carburetor, better tune, put a different clutch in it, a couple minor tweaks. And my goal was to get this old tired 327 that's got low compression in half the motor, into the 13s, and we got a 13.9 out of it at South Georgia Motorsports Park. And then we forgot to latch the hood. I'm going to blame that on Matt Blasco, and it blew off, leaving the track and went about 30 feet in the air. Rich Guido got it out of the road for me, thankfully.
Nice. That's crazy, dude. But now South Georgia was our fourth day.
Yeah.
So by then you've got several days worth of fumes. You got several days worth of exhaust right in your ear. You can see the side pipes here. And you know, Matt Blasco, he's a veteran of this stuff. He knows that you got to latch that thing, man.
Yeah, he'll tell you he was responsible for tires not latching the hood, so he's probably right. I was probably so excited about that whopping 13.9 run out of that old thing. But the car is just a blast, and you can't. I mean, I can't kill it. I'm going to give it some love now that I did what I wanted with it in its old tired drivetrain state. Got it in the 13s. Now it's time for some upgrades.
Yeah, you had actually accidentally sent me one today. You're like, "Hey, what do you think about these?" And it was at the cylinder heads, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, do it." And you were like, "Oh, wrong person." I'm like, "No, you can send me that stuff too."
Yeah, no, that was for a different Michael, but I'm glad you're supportive as well.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You were the hood guy. I did the hood. Don't pin it on me.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. That's got to be Blasco right there.
So, what class did you enter?
So I ran the stick shift class. When I did Sick Week as co-pilot with my buddy, he's got a pretty cool OBS truck that's got different colored fenders and stuff. His name's Matt Helms. It's a cool nitrous LS truck. He's in the dial your own class, and there's a lot of guys in that class. And I know I'm not going to be consistent in this, but I like banging gears. So I figured go in the stick shift class. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
I made it to the final four in the shootout at Drag Week in this old thing, which was hilarious.
That's pretty crazy.
Because people kept red light and going full send against my 14.5-second car.
That'll teach them.
But so the stick class was fun. And Raj, who's in the picture next to me, I met him at Drag Week, and he bought one of my gadgets. He's the first person to ever buy one of the gadgets that our
how cool
spin-off car company made, and we kept in touch. And most of my friends have, limited vacation time, so finding a co-pilot was pretty tough. And Raj is the one who was like, "Hey, I know a guy who he's not going to be able to make it as a racer, but he already paid for everything, and that was Matt Blasco. You want him to be your co-pilot?" And I don't know, I've never met Matt before Sick Week, so I was like, "Well, I hope he's not really weird." And I mean, that's debatable, but he's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
So I couldn't luck into a better co-pilot and hanging out with a better group of guys, Raj and Matt and Rich Guido, and some of those Canadian guys are crazy, and they were surprised that this Firebird could run 80 miles an hour down the highway with them the whole time.
Yeah. Hey, they don't mess around. They're not scared to run 80, 85, 6 speeds, just cruising, man. Well,
I've never participated in such a long pass. I swear that Raj led us down a 3-mile pass, passing probably 12 other racers and 10 civilian cars on some road in Florida.
That's awesome. Well, how did Matt? I don't want to say act in the car, but typically he's an EFI guy, so he's got kind of a he's got a laptop, he's working on stuff. What did you guys just talk? Did he just open a laptop over there? Like he wasn't doing anything? He's just like, this is how I normally ride.
I think he wanted to, but it sounds like he's also, quite experienced on carburetors. So he gave some tips, and I've never set up Caltrax before. So he had some suggestions, and he set up my Caltrax, and the car is really kind of underpowered for how good the prep is at Sick Week. I was launching this thing at 5,000 RPMs trying to get it to spin the tires and go. It's like 30 PSI in the radials and still sticking to the ground.
That's awesome. Well, what did it start the week at? And then you said you ran 13.9 on Thursday, but what did you start the week at again?
I ran a 14.8 on Monday, and I wanted to get on the road. I wasn't willing to wait for the all run, so we took it.
Yeah.
Day number 2, I couldn't get into second gear like 3 times. So made some clutch adjustments and some adjustments to the shifter linkage. And then day 3, 14.1, day 4, 13.9, day 5, she's smoking and hurting a little bit, but still got a 14.1 out of
it. That's awesome.
Nice.
But I can't, that car don't owe me nothing. Since I've got it, I put, I think, 7,500 miles on it between Power Tour, 2 drag and drive events, and we drive the heck out of these cars local. If the weather's good in Nashville, I take it to work. We go to car shows, we cruise, we throw people in the back seat. Good stereo system is mandatory for me in a cruiser. So.
Yeah. Dude, we got to get you hooked up with some Nashville folks. I don't know if you know Mark Edwards or Casey with Patina Pit Stop, or Cody Walker and Cody.
Oh, I know Cody.
Walker. Yeah. So we got to get you hooked up with them, man. That's a great time. All those folks are a blast. Yeah, especially Cody and Kristen. Favorite people in the world. Yeah.
There's a shifter problem, and it's not with the car.
Yeah, that's got to be my co-pilot. He was very encouraging all week.
Yeah, I'm sure. Awesome. So, what was your favorite day of the week?
Favorite day of the week, probably day number 4, getting the 13.9 out of it. Losing the hood. I think Steve Morrison's family there was like 2 cars behind the hood coming off. So I was just praying that it didn't hit. Like I saw all the cars behind me, and I was just praying it didn't land on anybody.
Right.
And then that night was the last checkpoint at the Harley Davidson dealer in Daytona, right? And that's where Raj did enough burnouts to blow up his rear tires and kindly suggested I donate my front tires to his situation and run my skinnies on the rest of the route home. So. You guys know Raj,
Oh yeah.
Hey, you really want to be a part of this? You want to really join the brotherhood, be a part, help a racer in need? What do you need? I need your tires.
Yeah, not for what you did to them all night, right? Please don't destroy these.
But no, I mean, I met you on Thursday, the impromptu little interview that everybody on Instagram has tore me up on, the craziness that you kind of helped create this week after Sick Week.
It was a ton of fun. Dude, who would have ever thought that let me show people, because we need to talk about that real quick too. This product right here, really, I give a lot of credit to Matt Blasco for talking about this, but you guys can sit there on top of the carburetor, and really, I was just getting a shot of the steam pouring out onto the hood. I mean, it was really cool looking setup. It sounded great, and then the lighting was perfect. So I was getting some shots of you working, and then Matt's like, "Hey, show him your what you've got." And so obviously this comes out. So I'm gonna bring you back on the screen here.
Sure.
So you can show us a little bit about that, because man, it has been pretty wild. That video has almost 200,000 views, and everybody is so upset about something in that video, whether it's me putting a big emoji on it or man, what were some of the comments that you were seeing?
Well, some are just, who the F has a carburetor still, there's all those, there's, a workbench does the same job that your spark plug holder does. You're not using iridium plugs, fail.
Yeah.
You know what we need in this video? A giant emoji blocking half of it.
Man, that was said a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Me misspeaking on the number of turns on our carburetor tuning screwdriver.
Great internet stuff. So I'm gonna put you full screen. Show us this product. Kind of tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. So, it started with coming back from sick week. I'm an engineer, so I probably overthink things a little bit. My buddy Matt Helms, who does these events with me, he is like a carburetor guru, has taught me a lot about tuning and just setting the idle on a carburetor and getting it running smooth and everything. I want to make sure all my 4 corner screws are perfect. So we just came up with a 2-piece, where's the camera, screwdriver that, kind of detents, clicks into place. So, you can back your screws out to 1.5 turns and kind of make sure as you turn them all in, everything's equal the whole way.
Yeah. So that was a big part of the controversy within the video, was because you were like, 5.5 turns, but you meant 5.5 clicks. And all these people are losing their mind. But this tool was actually, for a guy that has zero idea about carburetor stuff, this made a lot of sense for a guy like me, because I was like, that way you can have the same thing every time.
Yeah.
That's a good way to repeat it.
Yeah. Or when your car starts getting a little wonky on the idle, find out where one of your screws is. You can use this to turn it in all the way, find out where it's at, 1.25 turns, and then turn them all in and back them out all equal. Everything's dead on, and you start from there with your adjustments.
Yep. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. And then, so give us how did that screwdriver come about? How do you even think about that kind of stuff, man?
10-hour drive back from sick week with my car nut buddy that helps me tune my car, and I'm probably driving crazy over the last 2 years as he's gotten me up to speed on on carburetor stuff. I have some modern cars that I like because they're modern, but I like the classics because I want to learn the classic technology. I deal with technology all day, every day, and I like learning the carburetors. And there's something satisfying when I go to the car cruises and track, and there's a lot of guys with old cars who you see never enjoy them because they smell, because they can't get them idling right. Their family won't ride in them. They sound like crap because they can't get them tuned right. So just like the basics to help someone enjoy a carbureted old muscle car is
right.
So keeping each other awake coming back from sick week last year, we started brainstorming this. And I own an engineering firm here in Nashville with a business partner, and I've always talked about doing a spin-off business with some car-related stuff. So I said, screw it. I'm going to buy. I looked up the domain I wanted. It was available. I bought it on my phone on the drive back and just started kind of doing it as a little skunkworks thing on the side. And my employees wondering what the heck their boss is doing all night and all weekend for the last year. And now it's all out in the light, though. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. So walk us through the other stuff you get to be too.
Yeah, so the other parts, working on the car. This is for a carburetor cover, sits on there, can hold some tools. If you're doing a jet change, it'll hold your jet bolts and your jets. Sorry, I'm not very good with the camera manipulation, but it can hold screwdriver, ratchet wrenches, open-end wrenches, and then a spark plug holder that sits on top of it, and it kind of clips right in here, and the air cleaner stud keeps it all centered up on your carburetor. So, if you don't have a workbench with you at the racetrack where you can do the same thing this device would do, you can set your spark plugs in here. Raj wants a cover too, so I got to make a cover now. But
or on a drag and drive, where you're not really, you're hauling a trailer, but it's not a workbench,
Yeah, and then from this too, from all the feedback we've been getting, people want Dominator fitment. So I guess this is what guys with fast cars use, is a carburetor that's the size of my head. So same design. And then some feedback from some other folks that had 2 or 3 carburetors on a blower motor or something. They said, what about just a simple cover? I don't need all that gadgetry, a simple, inexpensive cover. And then the engagement on Instagram has been so much fun. People, like all sorts of people from the race car friends sort of group. I ended up chatting with Keith Turk a little bit, and he suggested adding this nubbin here so that you can't accidentally sweep dirt into this hole.
Oh,
So,
Nice.
oh, yeah,
before all the shipments go out, because we've gotten like 60 or 70 orders
that's
in a week
great.
now. Now all the plug holders are going to be updated to fit over this nubbin before the shipments
Wow,
start going out tomorrow. Um,
how cool, man.
and that's a lot of the fun of these are 3D printed parts, but we're lucky enough to have some really nice 3D printers because of what we do. That
Yeah.
we can continually tweak and improve the designs without losing an investment in molds and tooling and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I see Joe Haney here saying you could make one for Sniper EFI too. That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, we've got I've got a guy with a Quadrajet who's going to let me borrow it to check fitment on that. The sniper stuff, the Phytech stuff.
Yeah.
They won't, not going to be changing jets and that, but all the other aspects of it,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
makes
so
sense.
that's, spark plug, all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool, man. That's again, it's crazy. And then you and I have had 50 messages back and forth between then and now, but it's really pretty neat that a simple walking by to get some cool shot of you working or a picture of you working has turned into this, and you guys have
It's
all these orders. We love the success.
it's awesome. We have a team of 7 guys and gals who are on our team, primarily working in industrial machinery and structural steel design and 3D scanning. And we let them know this week that, hey, we're going to fully integrate WAF racing and like some product design stuff is going to be happening. I mean, we've always for the last year or so gone to some like local hot rod and restoration shops and scanned parts of cars to make them like replicate parts that aren't made anymore or make like some custom stuff. So on and off, we get to send some of the guys to really cool places.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But yeah, no, everyone's super excited. Did not expect. So when I came back from sick week, I was supposed to be catching up on all the work, like the real work I have. And now it's been, spooling up 4 new 3D printers and fulfilling orders and rearranging the team, what we're all working on. But it's super fun. And not to be corny, but you guys are a super great example of how welcoming this community is to like a new guy. I call them the crazy Canadians affectionately, who I got to spend the week with.
Yeah.
I mean, fast guys with slow guys, like everyone's just having fun at these events. I've never been around race stuff that's so not clicky and like, and people, there's no attitude. The staff is fun. I don't know. I've had a blast. I'm signed up for the Midwest drags. I'm going to try to get into drag week and I'm going to try to do 666 if I can swing it. So,
man, that's awesome. Yeah. I see somebody making comments here. Must be Matt Blasco there.
Do they make one that helps improve shifting?
He's going to have to be my co-pilot and learn to shift left-handed. I think that's the solution.
Oh, right. There you go.
It's just him with the helmet. I mean, you're probably like I don't mean to say this badly, but you're probably going slow enough. You can have a co-pilot.
Yeah. Where's the co-pilot class?
Yeah, you can have somebody ride with you. You know what I mean? I think like 14.0 is the limit on that or something.
Oh my God.
So, that'd be great.
The Firebird will be back with upgrades for whichever its next event goes. It'll be a little bit more respectable.
Yeah. What's the plan, man? You gonna do some heads? You gonna do intake stuff? What's the plan?
I have everything to build a 383 with a 671 blower here sitting in my garage, except for the super dish pistons to get the compression ratio right. So I just really need to buy some pistons and put it together. And I've never played with an old-fashioned supercharger. And Matt Blasco is probably going to comment about how it's a big heat pump and it's a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. But I also think a high RPM screaming small block would be fun, but that's pretty expensive. And this is supposed to be my budget car.
Right. So here's my question, because the Barracuda is like the number 1 car. Is this going to push the Barracuda backwards with you building this car more?
So the Cuda was kind of like the open checkbook car. That was, not anything crazy, but I just wanted to run like 11.5 naturally aspirated. It's got a really hot stroker small block.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
This was the one that I rebuilt everything in the suspension and did everything, like no upgrades, everything just rebuilt myself. But this one, like a number of people who saw it at drag week and who came up to me at sick week, staff included, who were like, I love this car. Like I have to keep taking this car. It's fun. It survived this long after sitting for 30 years. So
yeah.
So I'd like both of my cars to be in the mid to upper 11s. I use them for so much more than racing that I'm not ready to commit to a cage in them. Maybe I'm sure I'll get complacent if I get to that point and I'll end up with like some of these other crazies out here running these incredible times. But that's the goal for now. Short term, like 2-year goal for both cars to have 2 true street mid to upper 11 second cars.
I mean, listen, I say it a bunch, but like, 11, 12-second cars are fun. Like that car will
Yeah.
do a burnout anytime you ask it to, especially like you throw a blower on that thing, it'll look super just rad. You know what I mean? And the stick shift, that'll be crazy fun.
And the backup plan is I have a a stick shift Hellcat that I never drive that all my friends give me crap about because it's faster than both my cars. That just sits in my garage looking over it here. So that is, hey, there's Matt right there.
No, yeah, sorry, I forgot I had these on here as well. So these are route stops, and what's he working on there? What's he got?
My Caltrans.
Oh, gotcha.
That's how he was dialing in that stellar launch.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Is
pretty cool.
the CUDA manual trans too, or
It is the only automatic vehicle I literally own. It's got a 727 with a 8-inch ATI converter with a 3500 stall.
Yeah,
It's just it's a pretty healthy built 408 small block.
nice.
So
what trans is in the Firebird?
it's a Muncie 4-speed currently. It's
Oh,
probably
man.
going to end up being a TKX.
I was gonna say, is that gonna hold the blower?
I mean, if you're
As long-
nice to it, it will. Burnouts are always traction is what kills stuff.
My friends tell me I have the least amount of mechanical sympathy out of anyone they know, which is surprising to them because I'm a mechanical engineer.
Right.
And burnouts are my favorite thing. And the saddest thing about the Firebird is that when it's loaded with tools on a drag radial, it doesn't really make any tire smoke. It just
Yeah.
makes eardrums bleed with the side pipes. That's about it.
Yes. Well, that's probably one of the hardest things is like you almost have to take like an extra set of just like what Raj does, crappy tires and just let it eat, man. You know what I mean?
I need to make a trailer hitch for it and get into the trailer game because it's a drag. Unloading the car. My trunk was like a Rubik's cube that I put together. I'd take a picture to make sure I knew how to put it back in. But that's one of the things we're going to work on too. We have all the scanning equipment to scan the geometry of the cars. So I'm going to design a trailer hitch for the Firebird and for the CUDA. And then who knows, maybe other applications if guys want something, right now I'm interested in not like full race car guys, like guys who want to be able to take the stuff back off their car, not significantly modify. I've got fuel tanks in both my cars, not fuel cells. So, I've got limitations underneath for what I can hack up and modify. So that's kind of our gig. We like to modify things in a way where you don't have to seriously hack up your car, like more street car focused. Not to say that when Matt has me design stuff for his hardcore race cars, we're not going to be right there helping him. So
yeah. Well, everything has its place. Everything has its place. 12-second cars have their place. 8-second cars and like Matt's high 5, low 6-second car has its place.
Yeah.
We got a comment here. It says you need to talk about our first portion of the drive when Tom was ahead of us, then went the wrong way. Rich took the wrong turn, and you lost your pickle.
Oh, well, when you first build a team, you've got your 4 stages of team building: forming, storming, norming, and performing. And Matt and I had to get through all that really quickly, never knowing anybody in day 1 or 2 of the route. I've done a couple power tour and drag week last year by myself. So like I can program a GPS and follow a route. And we're behind Rich and he takes a wrong turn. We see Tom Bailey and he's like, well, follow Tom. And Tom goes the wrong way. And then Matt took us like a wrong way. And I was like, if you can't read a map, why don't you pull over? I'm fully capable of programming the GPS so we can get where we need to go.
Nice.
And then we were all happy couple the rest of the week there.
I mean, listen, I say it a bunch. It's okay to fist fight your co-pilot in the ditch. You're going to get up, hug it out. You're going to get back on the road.
It's the worst when you lead a train of people in the wrong direction.
Oh, man.
Like I don't have a trailer, so I can turn around. But some of the people who followed us into the wrong dark abyss of these back Florida roads, I was like, oh shit, man, I'm sorry.
And there's no driveways, there's no anything, and you just have to keep driving. Yep, we've been there.
Oh, it was such a blast, though. I had such a good time at the event.
That's awesome.
There was days I would have wished we left the track earlier, wish we would have done better and enjoyed the route during the daytime. But when it all came down to it, it was a blast. And the friends you make on these, you mentioned Cody Walker and his wife, Kristen, they've told me that like their drag and drive friends are like a whole special friend group now that they've known for like 8-10 years. And they're like, that's their drag and drive family. I could see how people get that way because other people at these events understand what you're going through. And I wouldn't be afraid to call on, people for a co-pilot if I can't find one that are like familiar with these events, because I know what they're signing up for.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the biggest things that, I drive a lot of places solo, if I'm going to these events. And my wife always asks, like, what are you going to do if you break down? I'm like, I'm probably within 2 hours of somebody that I know from the drag and drive community.
Yeah, that's a good
Anywhere
point.
in the country. So
It's I don't know. I had a stellar time. It's crazy watching the first half of your show and hearing about all the different events that are out there now. Midwest Drags is like living in Nashville. It's really close. Beach Bend is our closest track, so we're gonna do that. And
that's awesome.
And then we'll see if we get into Drag Week. And then my girlfriend really wants to do 666. That'll be a fun cruise. So we're gonna try to do that in October. But
bring it on. I'm definitely doing that one. That's going to be a good one. And I mean, dude, it's like coming within an hour of me. So Mocan's our home track. They've hosted a lot of events for us in the last 10, 12 years. And like, if it's hitting Mocan, I'm hitting all of it. And I just want to keep going 66. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, dude, we got to find out where tell people where they can find you, where they can watch all your stuff, where they can see all the updates that are coming, all that kind of stuff.
My garage is messy, Nick. That's hi, Nick. They can find it at www.waf-racing.com. We've got a lot of interesting stuff like clips and brackets, and we do all sorts of random, like this is a 65 Impala console lid that the guy wants, one with cup holder inserts in it. So like we scan the stuff, we make him new stuff, it'll fit his car, it'll get cup holders in it, like all sorts of the random coolest projects that we love working on. But we do design services. We have our carburetor goods. I guess we're gonna be supporting the Keep Carburetors Alive movement, if that's a thing. Keep carbs alive. Maybe we can start that.
There you go.
KCA, baby.
But it's stuff that you don't like really need, but it's like conveniences that maybe you didn't even think about until you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. I buy a lot of cheap stuff like coolant overflow cans and stuff, and they always come with gangly brackets. So we will make like better looking brackets that you can add to your thing, and you're still, half the cost of buying something really, really expensive. Oh, and custom emblems. We have a lot of fun with these. The guys on the team, we kind of do a little bit like graphic artist work. My buddy's got an Oldsmobile or a Blazer with an Oldsmobile engine. We made him some really slick Oldsmo Blazer emblems.
Nice.
I probably know every possible cubic inch you could make out of a Mopar small block or big block when I offer these CUDA, with whatever cubic inch you got. But I don't know. We just have fun with a lot of this stuff. It's the adjacent business to our main engineering business, and it's when it's creative. We love to play with cars, and look us up. And I'm learning to be an Instagram poster guy. Got a sweet little headset that I'll try to make some videos and show some stuff off. So if you follow us on WAF Racing 23, you'll see probably some good, not so good videos, but you'll see some stuff for sure.
Dude, I tell the story. He sends me a picture the other day.
So I buy this slick little headset that essentially puts my phone on my head, because when I made the carburetor video after yours that didn't have the emoji that made everyone mad, I did it by holding the phone in my mouth, and letting it face down to try to show how it worked. And that was kind of a pain. So I bought this little headset. We go to this really cool local shop that builds custom hot rods and stuff. And they wanted us to scan a part of a car that we're going to design something for. So I was like, I'm going to record the scanning process. I had my phone facing backwards and got about 5 minutes in my ear. Just going that way. I got home and looked at all that. And thank you, Mike, for encouraging me. You're like, oh, you can use the audio still and do new video and overdub it. And I was like, I'll just make a new video.
Man, listen, I'm telling you, Eric knows this from personal experience. Everybody's going to do that.
Yeah.
So at least you got that knocked out of the way early.
No, it's
and you're run up as a carburetor influencer.
Carburetor influencer. That's a term I never thought I would have associated with me, but I'll take it. It's fun, man.
That's awesome. Well,
I think the Keep Carbs Alive is going to be a thing now. So we might have just came up with something on the show that's now going to be a thing.
Look at that hashtag KCA. Hashtag is hip. See, I'm learning all this really, really fast. My girlfriend yells at me about when do you use the @ to tag you guys, and make sure my
Always.
hashtag list is in my notes so I can paste it there. And
Yep.
if I'm going to give people free products, that I should ask them to tag our company. And there's all this stuff that people who are savvy like that are trying to teach me to do. So,
Yep. Well, I know. So Jonathan Stonecipher is backstage, and I know he is. He's probably chomping at the bit. So, Jonathan, you all right if I bring you on? And I know you probably have some questions for Chris, if that's all right. I'm sure he's probably okay. All right.
Sure.
So, guys, if you don't know, Jonathan Stonecipher is one of my best friends ever, and we'll do a more formal introduction here in a minute. But Jonathan has played with carburetors for a really, really long time. So you guys are probably a match made in heaven here, because Jonathan is also has all kinds of cool stuff in his shop. So lots of cool projects and things like that. So
nice to meet you, Jonathan.
Nice to meet you. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
I
good.
figured you were chomping at the bit to ask some questions there about anything in your shop that he needs to make, any carb covers for you guys over there.
Well, I actually probably have a whole list of things here coming up. So, but I was just looking at the special emblems. I know I'm probably going to need at least 2 or 3 of those and different things.
We love that stuff.
I didn't know I was a part of the Keep Carbs Alive movement until just a few minutes ago when it was actually coined. So,
maybe you and I can be like the founding fathers, I guess.
Hey, that sounds great to me. I'd recently switched my car to fuel injection, but I'll change it back. It's fine.
Well, I think you're grandfathered in to the carb life.
Cool, that works.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, Chris, I want to say thanks for hanging out tonight. Dude, it's been a lot of fun, and this won't be the last time you're on the show. Obviously, we're going to
sounds good.
We're going to have you on often. I'd love to talk about some of the new and interesting stuff that you guys come up with. So,
yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for welcoming me to the community and participating in the show and talking about our products. And like, it's so fun meeting all you guys and just getting to know this I guess sport, hobby, whatever we're going to call it. And
right.
I guess hashtag KCA, keep carburetors alive, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Awesome,
Chris.
Thanks again. See you.
All right, see ya.
Awesome, dude. Okay, John, I got one thing to go over, and then we'll bring you back on to talk about naturally aspirated stuff. Because, dude, I'm excited to learn, and you're a great teacher, which you've done that for a long time with me. And we'll talk about some of our history and kind of why you're like the coolest uncle, big brother, probably big brother that I have. So hang on, I'm gonna put you backstage. Awesome. Well, I can't wait for that. That is exciting. If you guys don't know, Jonathan Stonecipher is truly one of my best friends. I'll let you drive. There you go. Okay, perfect. All right. One thing I want to cover real quick is what I found on Summit this week. SummitRacing.com. Y'all, I tell you all the time, I'm on there a bunch looking for different stuff and parts and things. But I thought this would work really well. So Thermotech has all of their stuff is like 10% off right now on Summit Racing. I thought this was a great time because I know some of you guys have your carpet out or you're upgrading parts and stuff. This is a good deal. And the thing about heat control mats, which is what you're looking at here, is you don't have to just completely cover the floor and everything. You can just cover a few key spots and it save a ton of heat. So just keep that in mind. Thermotech 10% off right now on summitracing.com. Thought this was a pretty good deal. Wanted to bring it to you guys. The again, heat barriers you can actually put underneath the hood. That would help a lot if you don't want to pull your carpet up, and exhaust. That's really what gets a lot of heat build up in a car is, the headers running down or transmission stuff underneath the car. So you guys know what you're doing, but this is a good deal on this. I thought that was pretty good. And then lots of cars, as we're building them, we're not thinking about brakes, vacuum pumps, all that kind of stuff. So Lead has all their stuff right now. I think it's 10 or 20% off. Looks like it's 10% off right now on the ones that I have here. But again, when I'm looking at this stuff, I'm looking at which ones have high reviews, how many stars do they have, what parts are good, all that kind of stuff, plus a discount. So these are some things I found on summitracing.com this week. Thought that was something you guys would enjoy, that you guys could use. It's one of the biggest things with this little segment is it's not stuff that's just us talking about that. It's like what's something that you can use. So again, heat mat, You got to have some of that, and then the vacuum pump. So that's what I found this week.
Good
All
stuff.
right, yeah, man. It's yeah, keep
But
from
I
boiling
mean,
your master cylinder. That's exactly right.
like I've got manual brakes. That's not a thing.
I mean, yeah, manual brakes are definitely a thing, especially in race car. That's in your Mustang, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, 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 good. Because we're going to be using that thing at some point in the future. Probably not
Yep.
this year, but 2025, we're taking that on a drag and drive event. That'll be the media car for the drag and drive.
There we go.
All right, so kind of a little bit of backstory here. Jonathan and I met really probably 11 or 12 years ago in a Facebook group, and then that turned into he hosted what would become the streetcar shootout. He hosted a streetcar shootout and then handed it over because he was building a car for 2014 Hot Rod Drag Week and said, "Hey, if you want to continue to do this, you're more than welcome. I'm going to build this car." And so through that friendship, we've really grown. I mean, this none of this would have happened without Jonathan Stonecipher's involvement in the 2014 Hot Rod Drag Week, and then pushing me constantly to do one. And then in Race Week 2020, of course, I raced in that, and that was when the entire world changed. Like, not just the world changed for everybody, because it did in 2020, but for me. I mean, it really, a lot of stuff went down in 2020, and I'm telling you, the drag and drive community has been amazing to me, and I'm a big fan of them as well. That's why we do this, right? But Jonathan Stonecipher is like, anytime I have questions about naturally aspirated stuff, I go to him. I don't have a whole lot of questions about naturally aspirated stuff, but when I do, he's my guy, right? And so we're going to do this. We're going to start monthly. We're going to have Jonathan on to talk about naturally aspirated stuff, combos, what's important in things. So this episode today is really probably kind of an introduction to Jonathan, some history of some of the cars he's built and what's going, like why he likes naturally aspirated stuff, although he has built some things that aren't naturally aspirated and helps tune and work on cars that aren't naturally aspirated. He still is an NA guy at the end of the day. So we're going to talk about his cars that he's had, and just really kind of why he enjoys this type of building. I think it's probably because he enjoys the challenge, to be honest with you. But let's bring him back on. Mr. Jonathan Stonecipher, how are you this evening, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Man,
Good.
I'm doing great. And if you guys can't see, he's in his shop right now, which is full of cool stuff all the time, dude. Full of cool stuff. I love going over there. Jonathan's about an hour and 20 minutes from me. So anytime I go over there, it's 4 or 5 hours I gotta spend.
So I got a quick answer for your why I like naturally aspirated stuff. I think it's because I'm short a little bit of having a fully functional human brain. That's
Well, I think you enjoy doing things the hard
I,
way. I've seen the way you build cars, and that's kind of
I
you,
do.
you like the
There-
stuff.
Um, guys will figure out naturally aspirated guys. There's not really, you just don't cut corners. Everything requires a
Yep.
little more thought because you don't have a dial or a knob that you turn to just add more power. You know, we
Yep.
I don't have a jet I can change to add a couple hundred horsepower or a dial or a knob or a boost controller, you know.
Yep. Yeah. And
So
you know me, I'm a big turbo guy, and
oh
so
yeah,
you can always just go bleep bleep bleep, turn it up a little bit. But NA guys can't do that.
that's right.
Yeah.
And
So go ahead.
uh, go ahead. Go.
Well, I was going to say, kind of walk us through like what started all that. How did you? I mean, did you build NA stuff because that's what you guys built? I mean, how's that?
So how it all got started is my dad was a dirt late model racer. So I grew up in a shop where he had a machine shop. We did all of our own motor stuff. And
Nice.
I grew up in the shop. I run a cylinder head machine, seat and guide machine, and valve grinders. What I did growing up, built cylinder heads, and
Nice.
that's what we did. It wasn't an option to put nitrous on a car. There were some cars that had it, but it really wasn't an option.
Yeah.
And I got into street racing pretty young for normal standards, and I didn't have nitrous available to me at the shop, and I was just taking whatever we had laying around the dad stuff and building
Yep.
stuff. There was just nothing ever off limits. I could have whatever was in the shop. I could use it. If he wasn't racing, I could use the carburetor off the car. I've actually pulled the motor out of the car and stuck in my car and raced it during the fall with his motor out of his car. So
Nice.
so
That's awesome.
there was nothing ever off limits. Dad was just, he's always shared whatever he had. We always called
That's
it
cool.
having eggs in the basket. He goes, I just can't keep eggs in my basket if you don't have any in yours. So
That's
uh,
awesome. Yeah,
and
your dad's one of the coolest people ever.
he was a wild man, that's for sure. So that kind of shaped what I did, because it's what I had available, and it's what I knew. And then when we got into street racing and stuff, there was cars around here that had nitrous, and then later on turbo cars, and actually outrunning a nitrous or turbo car with the NA cars is pretty satisfying. So
Yeah, I guarantee it.
so
You've done that to me.
yeah,
You've
yeah,
a lot, several
yeah,
times.
it's
So
happened.
yeah, Jonathan built a 4-door Malibu and just walked out of my life, like with not even like a crazy rowdy big block NA setup against my,
No,
turbo LS C10 truck, just gone.
just a 6 liter and a 4-door Malibu.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was interesting to watch. I cried a little bit before I got to the track because it was so
and
bad.
and the
Bus
guys
links is what we'll call it.
and the guys that don't know me and Michael, I send him the pictures randomly just to bust him up.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't always send them to me. Sometimes he posts them.
Yeah,
He
that
posts
too.
them on,
Uh,
on
yeah,
Facebook. Yeah. So again, guys, I told you earlier, Jonathan started this streetcar shootout, and essentially in like 2012 and 13, it was really supposed to be like a weekend drag and drive event. That was kind of the ultimate goal, but
that was our
yeah, but
plan. And
scheduling, yeah,
if you guys remember it, looking back, it rained. It rained out our Friday night portion, and then Saturday just wasn't going to happen. And then it was like 40 degrees on our Sunday race, and
yeah,
we all caravanned. I think there was 28 cars at the first race, and we all caravanned to Mocan and raced, and it was just freezing cold. For
yeah,
when we left the house here that morning, it's like 28 degrees, and we got to Mocan, and
Oh wow.
we got to a high of 40 that day, and it was great. And
yeah, yeah. Everybody was excited that it was at 40.
yeah, oh yeah, they were loving it.
Yeah, yeah. So that started all of it. So that was 2013,
Yes,
and
sir.
then you went wild. You let me pull up a picture of the Nova here, and you were
Uh,
going to build it. You took it on 2014 Drag Week, right?
I did. Yep. And
Yeah.
I
So
actually
what was the setup then, and tell some
uh,
story there.
that car had a 565. Um, I had several different motor programs that I had over the years, and I sold everything and built a pump gas 10.5 to 1 565 and put in the car. And
Wow.
I at that point I'd owned the car for 10 years and had never made a pass in it because of, during the meantime, kids and getting married and life changes. And
Yeah.
I just set my goal was going to be to finish the car. So finished the car, and we finished it on Friday and took it to the Friday night test and tune for drag week at Tulsa. And then made my first passes I'd ever made in a car, and the first passes with that combo. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yep.
So yeah, that kind of took a ton of your time.
Oh yeah,
Here's one of the
that-
cars
that's
throughout
that's
the years.
that's Ant Flo. That was a car that me and my dad and a couple other friends we swapped back and forth for about probably 10 years there, and then now it's still close. One of my good friends, RJ Stack, still owns the car. It's still here close. So
That's
and
awesome.
I won with the Malibu. I won they had a local series here called Stock Block Shootout, and I won
Hmm.
an NA championship in 2015 with the car.
That's
What was
awesome.
in that?
It had a 355 in it. Is a dart headed 355, 12.5 to 1 with the roller cam. And
Nice.
that car, as you see it right there, that it may have been even that pass. I went 11:31 with just plain old car. And then we actually, I don't know if you got a picture of it, but the orange car,
Hmm.
uh, I I moved the combo into another car, and we got the car to go 1090s before
Wow.
we
Nice.
went on to doing something else.
Yeah, I think I mainly focused on some of the
Yep.
Nova stuff. One,
Yep.
because I mean, this is probably the favorite car, your favorite, the car you own that I love.
Yeah.
Uh, but
So
listen, I rode in this car for about 200 miles that day.
yeah.
Uh, One of the loudest cars you'll ever be in. Then, back
So
then, anyways, maybe not today, but back then.
so this picture here, it actually has that picture there is actually the motor out of the yellow Malibu in the Nova.
That's
In
awesome.
that picture right there. Yep. We did your circuit race in 2019. I did with that motor in the car, and I actually won your naturally aspirated class that year on the circuit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
I
Yeah,
was trying to.
you and Tim Taylor were going at
Yes.
it. Tim,
No,
Tom.
no, that was in 21.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry,
I
yeah,
had this. I
21.
had the 6 liter in the car then. The
Yeah,
first race we did, we drove from Mocan to Tulsa and then back, and
yep.
I did it with the 355 in the car. The when I raced Tim Taylor, it had a 6 liter in it.
That's right. Yeah, so the first year we hosted that, really Jonathan hosted it, because, like, I drove from Northwest Arkansas to Tulsa to meet the guys to watch the racing, then back home, and then back up to the track the next day for whatever reason. I don't even know why I did that.
Yeah. Well, I think you
Yep.
like with always. I think you had work obligations going on, and you
Yeah.
know what we do. We had to have really forgiving jobs.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it
was
was a different time then.
I was looking at my race schedule for this year, and it's like I had to tell the guys I'm working for right now I'm going to be gone for 5 weeks this year. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
Hey, look,
surprised.
surprise. That's part of it though, man. I
Yeah.
tell you. Here's the car that I was talking about, the
Yep.
four-door that just donkey punched me. It was it was pretty awesome. This is one of my favorite shots that Wendy Martin took on I think this was the circuit Dragon Drive 2021.
Yeah.
This
That's
event was fun.
that's that's 22 there.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're 2024 now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
2022. Yeah.
That's
This was a
22
great time. Yep.
because I brought that car in 22 and 23. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That car is really cool. And again, another NA setup. This was a 6 liter, and
And
what disc
now
were
that
you on?
one now when that picture there was taken, it actually had a stock 454 out of a motorhome in it.
Man, I'm all
So
wrong. You hear all this?
yeah.
I've been wrong every time.
So
Nice.
I, um, my uncle gave me a 1984 executive motorhome, and it had a brand new 454 crate motor in it. Just a and I had bought this car on a whim. A friend of mine texted me and said, "Hey, I got this old car. I'm gonna sell it." And then he said, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah." So me and my wife loaded up in the snow and went and bought this car.
That's
And
awesome.
we bought it in January, and then I brought it to your race in April that year
Yeah.
with the motorhome big block in it.
Yeah, and,
That's awesome.
that wasn't 23 was the year that,
20
my daughter Gracie jumped in with you, right?
Yes,
And
she
rode
did.
from
Yes.
Big
Yes.
Brutus? Yeah.
Yep.
That was, man, what a ton of fun.
Yep.
Dude, she still talks about that. She's like, is he bringing that car?" And I'm like, "No, he's not bringing that car this
I
year."
I actually still own the car. I thought I had it
Oh,
sold, but it's still sitting here at the shop. And we were laughing earlier this evening. Me and my cousin, we were sitting here laughing, throwing something in the car and taking it somewhere. So
that's awesome. Huh.
I've had several different motor combos in it, like most of the crap I've got.
Yeah. That's fun. So, all right, sorry. Let's flip back. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's get back to NA stuff because I know
Yeah.
there's some folks
Yeah.
that are chomping at the bit to ask questions here. So, walk us through, like, making power in a naturally aspirated setup compared to, like valve train wise. What makes it so hard to make all that power?
Well, the really with the stuff that you have to do to make NA power, a lot of it requires RPM and compression, and that's the stuff for doing a drag and drive. That's the stuff that you people usually try to stay away from. You know, the like the combo that I had in the Nova, the 6 liter, which I also had in the Malibu, I turned
Hmm.
in 81, 8200,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
that's usually not what people do on drag and drive stuff. So
No. No, they want to go a little easier on stuff.
right, yeah,
And really, am I right in thinking the the way to make big power is big cubic inches. You know, like we've just seen Jerry and Matt Sweet make.
I
I mean,
really
that motor is
that
gigantic.
that is really hard to compete with. It really is. It just depends on what class you're running and what you think. Give me the secrets to making the hot chicken fast. So it just depends on what you're wanting to do. Like Jerry's combo is great. I mean, it's probably pushing 1,000 cubic inches, and it's everything that you could dream of. It's just not realistic for a budget for somebody like me.
Yeah.
Like
I can only imagine what they have in a Sonny Leonard's Hemi
if you go
style
to
big
if you go to their website, a 5-inch bore space Hemi, they start about 100 grand. So
Wow.
Come on. Come on. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
um,
that's
and
yeah.
it just really depends on, there's lots of guys out there that are making combos work, and then that everybody's got a different thing. Doc McIntyre's got a Hemi head, Jerry Sweet's got a Hemi head, the Jimmy Lopez that does the motors for Brad Dyer and
Mm,
Ed Enzer. I mean, they're using a conventional big block, and they've as far as I know, they've made the quickest to date in a pass.
yeah.
And now they're in different class than Doc. They're not in Pro Street. They're in modified, but they've made the quickest to date in a pass. Well, Schroeder's car probably has, but
Yeah.
he's not running in A. So
Well, and so I was going to tell you. So I was talking to Doc and Jeff while they were working on the car
yeah,
there
yes,
at Bradenton, and Jeff was like, "Hey, I got to tell you." Now they didn't submit their pass, but
right.
Dave Schroeder and them they made like a 720 something in a
Oh yeah,
pass, but
yeah.
again, it was in
I,
competition, but it didn't really count.
right, right, because that
So
wasn't the class they entered. So
yep,
and looking at cars, I mean, like there's a light years difference between what some of the guys are doing. Like the difference between uh like say my motor combo, like that I've run, it's all built at home, and like it's less than $5,000, where you got
right.
guys that I'm working on another combo for the car now that the cylinder heads cost twice as much as that. So
Phew.
so it just depends on what you're wanting to do. There's
Right.
there's all different ways to go about it, and everybody has their own way.
So what is the way that you typically lean? What's your typical
What
brain way
you
to
really
get
want
there?
to know? It's whatever I can get a deal on. I
That's
mean,
awesome.
that's just the reality of it. I mean,
Yep.
the motor combo I'm working on now. Me and Jimmy Baker are working on doing a 12-degree old school conventional small block, but it's big cubic inch, so it's actually going to be entered in big block class until I can do another short
Wow.
block. But it's 460 inches. So
Dude,
it's
that's
not. Yeah,
crazy. That's crazy. How does
but
that work? See, these are the kind of this is why Jonathan hates when I come over to the shop because I'm like, what do you mean?
yeah,
460 inch small block.
yeah.
Like,
It's
is
a
it
it's a
because of the geometry?
well, it's a 165 bore, 4 1/4 stroke. So the stroke the combo works out that it's that big. So
Wow. But what wouldn't make that a big block? I mean, it
uh,
fits in a
it
small block?
no, it's a small block. I mean, it's a small block.
Wow.
It's a raised deck block. It's raised the cam is raised like 390, and then the deck is raised 300,000. So,
Wow.
but as far as looking at it, it's actually it looks like a conventional small block. It just looks big. It's
That's cool.
about a half inch bigger. Like if you've got a sharp eye, you can tell that it's about a half inch bigger. But like most people walking by, they just see the two header tubes close and they're like, oh, it's a small block. But that's
Right?
I really hate that. I mean, it's what we found and made a deal on.
Mhm.
So but I really wish it was small block legal, and I'll probably end up doing a 430-inch short block for it at some point. It's just not in the budget right now, even trying to finish everything. So, and like
Yeah.
I'm just a normal working guy, so like this will take me probably a year to finish, but
Mhm.
I've got other cars in the works to race this year. So
Yeah. So you're saying Hot Rod Drag Week 2025, or you
Uh,
Rocky
it
Mountain
would be.
Race Week?
It would probably be Rocky Mountain Race Week or something maybe sick week oriented. Like
Yeah.
I plan on going this year. I'm going to start with your circuit race,
Cool.
and then after that we're going to do. I'm going with Aaron Fowler as co-pilot for King of the Open Road, and
Perfect.
then we're doing me and Greg or Greg Jones, who I co-pilot for doing Rocky Mountain stuff. We're actually
Yep.
registered right now to do Six Summer, and we're trying to get into 666. And then,
So another reason I need to go to Six
yep,
Summer.
yep. And then I've had a 2012 Camaro that I've had for several years, and I've actually started putting a motor together for it to take to Rocky Mountain Race Week because it's here this year. I actually wasn't intending on taking a car. I'm just going to go as a co-pilot with either Boo or Greg or whoever would want me to ride
Mhm.
along with them can tolerate me for the week. But with it being here, I can't see why I've drove halfway across the country to be in a race and then it's here not to be in it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. That is 100% agreement. Well, I'm
I mean,
excited about you. I'm excited about you coming to the circuit again,
no,
dude. You've been at like every event I've ever hosted, and
so
all the drag race stuff. So
I know and the guy that owns the truck knows, but I'll be driving a nitrous powered pickup at the circuit race. My friend
yes.
Jimmy, he broke the motor in the S10 that we had brought last year to the circuit. While I was in
Mhm.
Colorado, he was out testing and broke the motor, and I happen to have a motor, so I'm going to put it in the S10 and spray it. And Aaron Fowler's going to come as my co-pilot. So
Yes, that's gonna
yeah,
be awesome.
just because he likes
That's
to
gonna be
party.
awesome. Well, yeah, Aaron likes to party for sure.
He
Well, that's
and
cool.
I'm hoping he'll bring his headset because uh, you know how that works. You've been there.
Yeah, yeah, dude. And if that S10's anything like the Nova, he's gonna need it.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, definitely gonna need a little bit of that. Well, dude, what can people expect? Like, what are we gonna talk about when you come on for these things? What are some things they can be looking forward to?
Well, just whatever you guys want to talk about. Just the main thing is with NA stuff is for me it's testing because it's not like a power outer car where you can like just turn it up. So
Yeah.
like and that's the one thing that I'm usually short of. I usually got a well sorted out chassis, but a lot of times I'm like when I showed up and raced you, that was actually the first pass I made in the Malibu with
Oh yeah, make it even
yeah,
worse.
sorry. uh that was actually the first pass I'd ever made it since I owned it. So sorry, I gotta
Even better. Just yeah, that's
um
awesome.
there's lots of different things to talk about. It just modern camshaft profile,
Mhm.
fuel injection, um, just different things. And everybody has a different way of doing things, but drag and drive puts a different spin on things than most racing. Like I
Yeah.
normal racing around here, I never would have switched away from carb racing. But with doing drag and drive, I found out the first year when we were in Nova that there's places I needed to take fuel out driving down the road, and then I needed more fuel at the track. So like I would have to make major jet changes between driving and almost to the point it would have been better to have a separate carburetor because there's places you can't put or remove fuel that you need to do driving.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, that's why carbureted stuff that's why I don't use it anymore. I mean, that's why
It
everything we have is fuel injected.
it has its place, and there's lots
Yeah.
of I don't know that like power for power, I don't know that a carburetor still won't make more max power.
Right.
I just don't see them. A lot of times when you watch dyno stuff, the carburetor make more max power, but the fuel injection will make more average. But the physical driving part of what we do, there's times where the fuel injection just is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
as a founding member of the KCA,
yeah, so do I have to do both?
yeah, we need you to put fuel injection on
Are you
top of a carburetor.
well, the what I'm working on right now has actually got a tunnel ram with two fours, so I guess I could put one carburetor and one one throttle body on it and just
Yes, there you go. That'd be perfect. Can you imagine the EFI system trying to understand what the hell is
it's like,
happening?
what is going on? Well, it's kind of funny you mention that because we had talked about doing for a drag and drive car with a blower setup, actually doing a mechanical fuel injection with electronic supplement. So it's
Oh,
engineering nightmare. So
I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. All right. Well, we're going to put some stuff together. We're going to have you back. We'll probably do, I mean, my goal would be to do this monthly to start. And then
okay,
as we get into the racing season and some of the cars, make passes and we learn, what to ask from different racers, we'll come back on and talk about some of that stuff.
yeah, just
So,
whatever you guys want. And like anything, I was trying to watch through the comments. Anything that people got questions with, if I can answer it, which is not guaranteed, I'll do my best. Or
yeah.
if not, I'll just make something up.
Yeah, dude, I don't know if he's ever made anything up for me because he's always said it with such confidence that I'm like,
Yeah.
that's what I got to do.
I was going to say,
Uh,
Mike and I probably wouldn't know if it was true or not.
Yeah. So, all right, dude. Well, we're gonna put you backstage, man. Thank you so
okay.
much for coming on tonight. I appreciate
Okay.
it. And again, I'll be over at the shop, I'm sure soon because you can see all the
I,
cool stuff that's back
I
there
was
in
gonna
the
say
back.
I'll probably see you soon too because I got a truck over at Stevens right now. So
Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll hang out there. We'll watch him work and we'll hang out.
hey, that sounds great to me.
Yeah. All right, dude. We'll see you soon.
Okay, see you soon.
See ya.
Bye. Y'all, I'm really excited about learning a little bit as far as on our end about naturally aspirated stuff because I've always been a power adder guy and have typically always leaned more towards turbo stuff simply because like he said you can just turn it up, you can one more click, and turbos make way cool noises, you know what I mean, like it's that's what's always gotten me there. So um I'm excited to learn a little bit about that. So if you have questions, definitely ask him. Friend Jonathan Stonecipher on Facebook, and you can ask him directly, and then he can bring those questions into the next time. So I think kind of the plan is to probably do this sometime middle of the month each month, and I think that'll lead right into some really good stuff as we get throughout the season. So again, we're going to look at once the season really kicks off. I would say June is really when we will really start having some serious conversations with all kinds of stuff. So, now we have again Ryan from Performabit will be great to have as an asset. Luke B from Howard's Cams, we can talk to him. I think us having maybe Luke and Jonathan on at the same time would be great because those guys could really talk cam profiles and why things are important and what to look for when you're trying to build something. So we really are building a whole process here. And of course, Eric at Molly Motorsports. That dude is so smart. Like it's probably hard for him to be in a room with me um, because of his knowledge of how combustion chamber works and how the choice of piston can change between different setups. So I'm excited about all of that. This is
thought
I
you
think. Go
I
ahead.
thought you weren't saying excited tonight.
Well, I'm excited about saying excited. So drink it up, guys. Listen, I just want to one more time say thanks to everybody for hanging out tonight. Again, you can watch this and more stuff on PowerTube TV. We'll have it all on there. I take and edit these videos down and post them on there as well. And then,
Tuesday,
guys, we want to go ahead.
Tuesday nights, right? Power tube.
Yep, yep. Actually, in about 27 minutes. So 9 p.m. everywhere Tuesday nights you can find on all what do you call it, time zones. You can
Yep.
find the Drag Drive Repeat show, whatever that will be that week. We'll be providing all kinds of different stuff, and then make sure you're following us on all the social media channels because we really are, dude. I say it all the time. We're busy. We're posting all the time. I think during sick week I had posted like 37 times or something like that just during sick week, just on Instagram. Oh, Howie
Howie.
Price has a
Yeah.
great, yeah,
Yep.
go ahead.
Yeah. Howie's got a great idea here. A converter guy now. Ryan Jans, maybe.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We've talked to them. I've talked to Dan Palmieri. I've talked to Ryan Jans at PRI 2022 about kind of being a part of it. And then I dropped the ball on that. So I'll pick that back up and see if we can do that. And then, yeah, Dan Palmieri with Circle D would be a great asset too, because a lot of the drag and drive community run his converters or run Circle D converters. So be kind of cool. All right. And plus he's a racer too. So that's always.
Yeah. And there was another converter company that reached out to us too. I can't remember what that one was offhand.
Neil Chance converters would be a good one. So I'll reach out to them as well this week, guys. Again, trying to figure out how to help the community as much as we possibly can here at the old Drag Drive Repeat. All right. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for being our race car friend. If you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, get it out there. Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Howard's Cams, Performer Built Transmissions, Car Change 3D, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk Classifieds. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being around here, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on a day early and watching us. So hope everybody has a great Valentine's, and we will see you guys on Saturday morning.
Awesome.